Well, welcome, and today we're going to be drawing a 3D chair. We're doing some interior design, which is actually a job people get paid for. And here's what we're going to kind of come up with. Pull this up and we can set it up like this. But when you're looking at it from the front side, it's going to look like this. So I thought this was pretty cool when I saw it. I think that you guys will enjoy it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our paper and we're going to fold it if it's folded already. Don't worry about this part. I'm going to fold it in half and press down the fold on it. And now we're going to take our pencil and we'll take a ruler and we're going to measure about 1 inch up. This doesn't have to be precise, and if you do it later on, you can choose whatever size you want to just to experiment with it. But for me, I just chose 1 inch, and then I wanted to make a straight line going all the way across about 1.5 inches. That's where I'm marking 1.5 inches right here. That's going to be the width of the chair. Then we'll just draw straight lines going down, 2 of them, just like that. Then we're going to take our scissors and we're going to cut up to the very top there. Try your best to keep them at about the same length, just like that. Now we'll take our paper and we're going to fold that up, push it down on the crease on the fold, turn it around, and we're going to fold that as well. And now when you open it up, that's where our chair is going to start from. You can see how it kind of pops up there. So now we'll push it down, and now we're going to draw just the middle of the chair. That would be the front part of the seating part where you sit on. And then we're going to just draw a little line right there on the back. And I'm going to give you a little example of what that chair looks like when it's all finished. So on the edges of the chairs, we're going to draw the legs. So here's one leg. It's just a rectangle. Let's just go straight down and follow right along the edge there. And then we're going to go to the other side, do another little rectangle, go all the way down to the end of the fold. And you've got part of the chair so far. Now we're going to go to the top part. You can do your chair whichever way you want. Maybe you have totally different chairs at home. I don't have a chair like this. I just kind of made it up. But usually chairs have a back of some sort. Sometimes they're all solid. Sometimes they're kind of neat, decorated. I'm going to do, this is basically just a rectangle, or maybe a cylinder, if you will, on the top. I'll do another one that's just like it to try to match it. Put that one down. I made that a little bit too high, but that's okay. And then I'll just put some kind of a backing on this chair. So that's a little curved line. You do yours however you want to, however you want to create your chair. And I'll just finish it up with one more piece going right away, right across. Again, I'm just kind of making this one up in my mind. That's what my chair wants to. And then I'm kind of picturing in my head that this chair here has 4 little blocks on each side where you sit down, and then there's maybe a nice soft cushion in the middle. So I figured that you'd have these little blocks, and then the cushion just kind of sits in the middle, in between. There's some other examples of other chairs. You can take a look at those and see what you think of those. Then I got to put maybe a wood piece that's in front of on the front side of the seat, and then one on the back and on the sides. And then you got to remember to don't forget to put the back leg. So what you do is another rectangle about halfway down, just like that, about halfway down, and then you just stop it right there, and you have a 3D chair. And now we're finished with the chair itself. So we're going to put the baseboard. This is the wall. You can see it in the picture there. If you look at a lot of different houses, they have baseboards where the floor meets the wall. And now I think what I'm going to do, and you can do whatever you want to do at this point. You're just kind of designing the inside of your own house. Maybe you want to draw stuff that's inside of your house from your memory. or just make up something. All I'm doing right now is just making a little bit of a window because lots of houses have windows. It'd be an awfully dark house if you didn't have windows. Then you never get to see outside. So I'm just going to put a little frame around this window, and I'm going to do kind of a basic outside right now. So I'll just put, the ground is there somewhere. That's the horizon line, if you guys remember. And now I'm going to just put a clock, because in my house we have a clock that's on the wall. And then I'm going to use something to make a circle. If you don't have one, that's okay. Just try your best to make a circle. Or a square. Maybe you have a square clock, or a rectangular clock, or a clock that's the shape of an animal. Some people have that. So going along with my clock here, I'm just going to maybe make a little frame around it. And then most clocks have hands. So I'm going to put a little dot in the center, and I'm going to put a little arrow, one of the little hands of the clock. And then we'll have a little hand of the clock. I'm going to do all of this in pencil. I didn't mention that before, but all of this in pencil because if I make a mistake, I can erase it. Now I think we'll put a little fireplace right about here. I'm not really looking at a fireplace, and we don't have a real fireplace in our house, but I've seen them before. I think they kind of look like this. Again, in your drawing, your interior design, you can put whatever you want to. Maybe you want to put your dog there. Maybe you want to put a person in there, one of your family members. Or maybe there's a little mouse peeking out of a hole somewhere. And you can do whatever you want. Put some logs in this fireplace. Now, I sped this up a little bit, but I'm going to put a little rug underneath here to kind of warm up the room. Or maybe your room has carpet and it doesn't need a rug. And I decided to put some books up here, just little rectangles. Books are pretty easy to draw when you're looking at them from the side. I'm going to put another one right there. Then I'll try to do a vase with some flowers in it. Maybe some people have vases with flowers in it. Put a little ellipse up here and connect these two. Put some flowers in there. And we are finished with the pencil part of the drawing. Now, the fun part of coloring the drawing comes up in just a second. Here's what your chair is going to look like in 3D. So you fold it over and just make sure that other chair part is sticking out. Can't really do this wrong. Sometimes you might have a little bit of a problem sticking that out first, but you can't really wreck it. So this is what it would look like from head on. You see how that chair is three-dimensional now? That's pretty cool. Now you kind of flatten it back out again, and we can get to coloring. And so for this next part, I'm going to just speed it up because you've all colored before. So you just kind of choose whatever colors you want to use and have at it. I added a little bit of shading on mine because I wanted to look a little bit more realistic. And so if you remember, you just kind of pay attention to where the light is coming from. In this case, the light is coming from outside the window. So the light's going to be on the right side, and then the shadow is going to be on the left side, right here. So it's kind of shading half of each one of those pieces of chair. Now if you take note, I'm using the same colored pencil that I used to actually start coloring this in. All I'm doing is just pressing down a little bit harder. And just like when we're doing shading with pencils, that's what we did. Remember we talked about gradation last time. going from light to dark just by pressing a little bit harder. You kind of find out where that light's coming from and where the shadow is, and then you just press harder on the shadow side. And there we are with our finished colored drawing. I could probably draw the wall, maybe color the wall too, but I decided not to in this one. So we'll just push this out forward, the chair, and maybe give it a good fold, a good press. Open it up, and there is our newly interior designed room, complete with folded 3D chair. And here's a picture of our final piece of art. I'll give you a couple of other examples that I did earlier on. Different kinds of chairs, different kinds of looks. Thanks for watching. See you next time.